The FIA made themselves public enemy number one at the start of the year with their new rule which aimed to punish the drivers with huge fines and race bans if they were caught swearing or criticising the FIA in any way. Unsurprisingly, the rule change was received pretty poorly, with the drivers furious at the FIA for restricting their freedom to express themselves, especially during the passionate and high-stress situations that occur while racing at the top level of motorsport. The FIA recently handed out the first punishment under the new rules to World Rally Championship driver Adrien Fourmaux, and the response from the WRC drivers has been immediate and strong. Today, I'll check out the FIA's response to the booing at the F175 livery reveal event, what the F1 drivers are saying, and what the WRC paddock's response to the FIA's new rule has been. So, don't go anywhere. Alright, let's begin with the booing at the livery reveal event in London last week. Both world champion Max Verstappen and his Red Bull team boss Christian Horner were subjected to jeers by some of the 15,000 fans inside the O2 Arena earlier this week. There were also many cheers for them as well though. For the vast majority of people, it seemed like the crowd having a bit of fun. It was closer to pantomime booing than anything serious, probably just a carryover from the 2021 championship, where Verstappen made himself the enemy of the British public in his championship battle with Lewis Hamilton. It really was nothing to have a second thought about, just the crowd having a good time. Not in the eyes of the FIA president though. Mohammed Ben Sulayem has now taken a swing at, and let me just check my notes to make sure, at Formula One's fans. That's right, Ben Sulayem has made a public statement condemning what he described as tribalist booing of Max Verstappen and Christian Horner at the sports season launch in London. An FIA spokesperson has said, "Great rivalries throughout the history of motorsport have contributed to making it such an exciting experience for fans. But what underpins sport at all levels is a culture of respect. As such, it was disappointing to hear the crowd's tribalist reaction to FIA Formula One world champion Max Verstappen and his Red Bull team principal and CEO Christian Horner at the F1 launch in London. Max and Christian have both contributed greatly to the sport we love. In the season ahead, we should not lose sight of that. As part of the FIA's commitment to protect the integrity of the sport, we are leading a coalition tackling online abuse in sport under the banner of our United Against Online Abuse campaign. We stand with all our competitors, officials, volunteers and fans to unite against this growing threat. We urge the sporting community to consider the impact of their actions both online and offline." The FIA president reportedly feels so strongly about the booing at the livery reveal event that it will be a subject of discussion at the World Motorsport Council meeting next week. What the FIA president intends to do about fans expressing their passion through booing is anyone's guess. Will the FIA be handing out fines to fans in the grandstands for booing? Is cheering an overtake offensive to the driver who loses a position? I'll let you consider that in the comments down below. Before I carry on talking about the battle against the new swearing ban that the FIA have introduced, if you enjoy the content we provide and want to catch all the reaction and analysis of F1's testing later this week, then make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to F1 Reverse. It really does help us out, so thank you very much for your support. So, in case you missed the news, the FIA have given out their first fine as part of the new crackdown on swearing. French Hyundai driver Adrien Fourmaux was fined €10,000 for swearing in a TV interview when describing his previous stage at Rally Sweden. Referring to an incident at the start of the stage where Fourmaux forgot to do up his helmet strap, forcing him to stop his car to resolve the problem, he told the interviewer, while still sat in his car after the stage, that "we fucked up yesterday." The newly formed World Rally Drivers Alliance was founded in response to Fourmaux's fine and says the punishment for misdemeanors such as swearing had reached an unacceptable level. The new sporting code has been released by the FIA that could see drivers fined, suspended, or docked championship points for swearing from this year. The World Rally Drivers Alliance added that the size of the fine was vastly disproportionate to the average income and budget in rallying. The driver's body called for discussions with FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem, who has previously said he wanted to remove swearing from the sport. The statement, signed by 33 drivers and co-drivers, is the latest step by competitors to raise concerns about the FIA's approach. The World Rally Drivers Alliance statement acknowledged competitors must abide by the referee's decision, but added there has been an alarming increase in the severity of the sanctions imposed for minor, isolated, and unintentional language lapses. It cited the adrenaline felt by drivers who were interviewed live seconds after finishing a stage, the fact that English is not the first language for a number of competitors in WRC, and that common colloquialisms are not the same as an insult or aggression. The World Rally Drivers Alliance also raised concerns over who the fines imposed by the FIA will benefit, and said a lack of transparency only amplifies concerns and undermines confidence in the system. Considering the corruption concerns within the FIA following the removal of the financial auditing team by the current president Mohammed Ben Sulayem, it's understandable that the drivers are concerned about what is happening with the money. That comes after Formula One's Grand Prix Drivers Association wrote an open letter to the FIA in November to ask the governing body to treat them like adults and asking for transparency as to how the fines, which it added were not appropriate, were spent. Ben Sulayem responded to that letter from the GPDA by saying, "Do we tell them how to drive? Do we tell them what to have as their strategy? It's none of their business. Sorry, I am a driver. I respect the drivers. Let them go and concentrate on what they do best, which is race. They talk and then they say, 'Where are you putting the money? Why we don't do this?' I don't say, 'Oh sorry, what about you?' Ben Sulayem said. The drivers are getting over 100 million. Do I ask where they spend it? No, it's up to them. It's their right. We do whatever we do with the money. It's our business. It's also with them and their money. It's their business." Clearly the response of a man who is using the money his organization takes from Formula One in a very responsible way. Not at all the response of someone with something to hide. As the World Rally Drivers Alliance said, the punishment for swearing is completely ridiculous. To give it some context, if a Formula One driver swears 3 times, or swears twice and then criticizes the rule about swearing, they will receive a €120,000 fine and be banned for a month, probably missing 2 to 3 races as a consequence. To get the same penalty for dangerous driving, you would have to be irresponsible on a level never before seen in Formula One. For the average driver against driver collision, the driver at fault receives 2 penalty points on their license. Once you get 12 penalty points, you get a 1-race ban, and then all the points are removed from your license. That means you would have to intentionally crash into another driver 6 times to get a 1-race ban, but swearing 3 times gets you a 1-month ban. Hypothetically, imagine the title race is coming down to the wire at the end of 2025. With 3 races left in the season, 2 drivers are neck and neck for the title. One driver could intentionally crash into another up to 5 times during a race and not get a race ban. But if the driver being crashed into responds at any point by swearing over the team radio, they could get a 1-month ban if it's the 3rd time they've sworn in the past year, ending the drivers' championship with the driver doing the intentional crashing taking the title. Obviously, a completely hypothetical situation, and not one you would expect any F1 driver to do, but the rules would allow it. You can understand the FIA wanting to stop swearing in press conferences, and it really doesn't harm anyone for them to do so fine, whatever. But to punish the drivers who might swear in the heat of the moment over team radio for being hit by another driver is ridiculous. Italy 2021. George Russell crashes into Valtteri Bottas, causing an incredibly high-speed crash. George Russell wasn't punished for causing that crash, but Valtteri Bottas, who swore over the team radio immediately after the crash, would be punished under the new rules. Russell would also have been punished for calling Bottas a effing idiot over the team radio and for hitting the Mercedes driver on the head while he sat in his car after the incident. That's 2 different punishable offences for Russell, meaning a total €120,000 fine and a suspended 1-month suspension. But his driving, causing a serious collision, wasn't punishable. There are so many different incidents like this one where the responses of the driver being hit over the team radio would receive a much larger punishment than the driver who causes a collision. It really is a ridiculous situation. What do you think though? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.